Okay, let's unpack this. Per my last email, it's more than just words, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's like a little digital jab.
Yeah. Turns your whole inbox into like this passive-aggressive war zone you have to navigate.
It's fascinating, really, how these seemingly, polite phrases can just pack so much unspoken stuff, tension, accusations.
We've all felt it, right? That little eye twitch,
Yeah.
like a bad PowerPoint animation going off in your brain.
Definitely. That sudden jolt of, uh-oh, what did I miss?
So why does something like, say, as previously mentioned, feel less like a helpful little reminder and more like, I don't know, a threat?
Well, it kind of calls your attention span into question, doesn't it?
Right. And kindly clarify. What's the real translation there? Sometimes it feels like it just means you ignored me and now I'm annoyed. Or maybe even I hate you a little bit.
Hmm. Maybe not hate, but certainly frustrated. It's often code for you missed something obvious. It taps into that avoidance of direct conflict.
You want to show you're annoyed, but you don't want the actual awkward conversation.
Exactly. So you use these phrases as a sort of workaround.
Okay, so here's the mission for this deep dive. We're going to equip you, our listeners, to become like email hostility decoders, cryptographers for your inbox.
Nice.
We'll look at how to reply without, losing your job, what it really means when someone loops in your boss,
Ah, yes, the dreaded CC.
and hopefully help you get through these email minefields with, well, maybe even a smile, or at least less stress.
Because understanding the game lets you play it better,
Right.
right? Move from just reacting to responding thoughtfully.
Exactly. So to start, we're going to break down the levels of this stuff. Think of it like an email hostility scale, a threat assessment for your inbox.
Okay, I like that. A practical framework. Where do we start?
Level 1, polite but deadly. Sounds nice, but stings a little.
Uh-huh. The stealth attacks.
First phrase, just circling back.
Ah, the classic. It sounds so casual, just circling back. But the subtext is persistence.
It's really saying, I know you saw this, I sent it already, where is it?
Pretty much. I'm following up, and I'm not just going to forget about this. It's a nudge, but you feel the expectation.
It's like that polite little cough in a meeting that actually means, hurry up.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's friendly reminder.
Friendly. Is it ever really friendly?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? The word friendly often feels loaded, especially if it's about something overdue.
Or something you've asked for, like, 3 times already?
Right. Then it feels sarcastic. The hidden message is often, this isn't friendly at all, and you really should have done this by now.
Okay, moving up the scale. Level 2. Spicy, with a side of shade. The politeness is starting to wear thin
The
here.
gloves are loosening.
And the big one. For my last email.
Oh, boy. This one immediately puts you on the defensive, doesn't it?
Totally.
Because the sender is basically saying, I already told you this. It implies you either didn't read it, didn't understand it, or just ignored it.
It questions your competence, kind of.
It really does. It's an assertion of, I did my part, the problem's on your end. Feels quite accusatory.
It's like saying, were you even paying attention? Okay, similar vibe, maybe slightly more formal.
Right.
As previously communicated,
Yeah, this one dials it up a notch. It suggests the info wasn't just in an email. Maybe it was in a meeting, a memo, something more official.
so it implies an even bigger lapse on my part.
Kind of. It highlights what the sender sees as your failure to retain or act on information that was, clearly disseminated. You can almost hear them thinking, I told you this already.
You can feel the finger wagging through the screen. All right, brace yourself. Level 3. HR is now involved.
Uh-oh. Red alert territory.
Subtlety is out the window. First up, let me rephrase for clarity.
Oof. This one's rough. Because the assumption is the original message was clear, and the problem is your understanding.
It's basically saying you're not getting this, so I have to dumb it down for you.
Exactly. It can feel incredibly condescending, like they're talking slower and using smaller words, but in email form.
Which is infuriating if you did understand, but maybe just disagreed or had a question.
Right. And then the one that really makes your stomach drop. Looping in boss's name for visibility.
Chills. Literal chills.
Yeah, this is almost always an escalation. Let's be honest, visibility is rarely just about keeping the boss informed.
It's about flagging a problem, right? Your problem, usually.
It's often about highlighting your perceived inaction or error to someone higher up. It bypasses trying to resolve it directly and basically says, look what they didn't do.
It's the grown-up office version of tattling. I'm telling the boss.
Pretty much. It signals that things aren't going well and there might be consequences.
Speaking of consequences,
Yeah.
we had a listener share a story. They got hit with a Per my last email.
Okay, yeah.
Their response, just 2 words, noted, and then they CC'd the sender's manager.
Wow. Okay. That's bold.
Right. Talk about fighting fire with fire.
It probably felt good in the moment, I bet, but wow, that's a huge escalation. You're really rolling the dice on the professional fallout there.
Definitely a high-risk maneuver.
Yeah.
It just shows how much these phrases can get under people's skin.
They really hold a lot of emotional weight.
Okay, so we can spot the landmines now. How do we walk through the field without blowing up our careers? How do we respond?
Good question. It's about strategic diffusion. There are ways.
Let's hear them. First tactic, the oops, my bad dodge.
Right. This is where you reply with something like, thanks for resurfacing. This must have gotten buried in my inbox.
So you're blaming the inbox, not yourself.
Sort of. You acknowledge the previous message, but you don't admit fault. You imply it was lost in the email avalanche, or maybe, Gmail ate it.
Plausible deniability. I like it.
It lets you save face while still addressing the point.
Okay, next up, the fake technical issue excuse.
This is similar, but maybe a bit more direct. That's strange. I don't seem to have that one. Could you forward it again?
Huh. So you're basically lying.
Well, you're buying time. It makes them do the work of resending, and while they do that, you quickly find the original and figure out your actual response.
Sneaky, but effective, probably.
Can be. But you can't pull that one too often. Or people might start to wonder about your tech setup. Or your honesty.
Good point. Don't want to be the person whose email is always broken. Okay, what about the nuclear option? Sounds serious. Says use sparingly.
Yeah, this one needs caution. It's a phrase like, appreciate your patience as I prioritize this against other urgent tasks.
Ooh, that sounds professional, though.
It sounds professional, but it can land really passively aggressively. You're essentially saying your thing isn't important right now.
Your email is not urgent, and maybe I secretly hate you for sending it.
Exactly. While that might be true, explicitly signaling that someone's request is low priority can definitely create friction or damage that working relationship.
So only pull this out if you really mean it and you're ready for potential pushback.
Precisely. It's a calculated risk.
Got it. And before we move on, a quick pro tip we should share.
Yes, the self-preservation technique.
Always BCC your personal email.
Why is that?
So you can forward the annoying email there first. Type out all the rage, vent your true feelings, then delete that draft and compose your calm, professional reply back in your work account.
Huh. That's actually brilliant. Get the emotion out in a safe space before you hit send on something you'll regret. Maintain that professional equilibrium.
Exactly. Okay, let's zoom out. This isn't just about individual emails, right? There's a cultural element too. Cultural email warfare.
Oh, for sure. Communication styles vary massively across cultures, and email is no exception. What's normal or polite in one place can seem passive-aggressive or just plain weird somewhere else.
Okay, give us some examples like American style.
Well, in American business culture, you often see more directness, but even something seemingly open, like let me know your thoughts, can feel like pressure.
Like it implies respond quickly or else.
Sometimes, yeah. That expectation for speed can make open requests feel like hidden demands for immediate input. Respond, or I will haunt your inbox.
Okay, what about the British? Known for politeness, right?
Yes, but that politeness can be complex. A phrase like with respect often signals that a disagreement is coming.
So it's like a polite warning shot. I'm about to tell you you're wrong, but I'm being polite about it?
Kind of. It softens the blow, uses politeness as a buffer for criticism, but it can definitely have a subtle edge, like translating to, you are perhaps a dumpster fire, but I say that with respect.
Huh. Okay, noted. And Australia.
Often very laid back on the surface, you might get a no worries, mate, even if something's gone wrong.
Which sounds relaxed.
It does, but sometimes that casualness can mask actual frustration. It might really mean, actually, I do have worries, mate, and you are currently one of them. It's just expressed less directly.
Fascinating how the meaning shifts. We actually got a listener hack related to this whole mess.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
Someone set up an email rule. Anything with per my last in the subject or body, straight to the archive automatically.
Huh. Just bypass it entirely.
Yep. Their reasoning. Living my best life.
I mean, I get it. It doesn't solve the root communication issue, but it definitely reduces daily annoyances, speaks volumes about how draining these phrases can be.
Totally. Okay, so let's put all this knowledge into action. We have a listener challenge for you. Call it the Email Jedi Challenge. 3 parts.
Okay, lay it on us. What do our listeners need to do?
Part 1, awareness.
Yeah.
Just by one passive-aggressive phrase this week. Could be in an email, could be Slack, Maybe an as per my last Slack message? Just notice it.
Good first step. Just paying attention sharpens your senses to this stuff. See how it's used, how it lands.
Part 2, action, if you get a chance. And please, don't go looking for trouble, but if it happens, try using the oops, my bad dodge.
Blame the inbox.
Exactly. Bonus points if you can vaguely blame IT or a system update. Get creative. We want to hear the best excuses.
Practicing these deflection techniques in safe situations builds that muscle memory for when the stakes are higher.
And part 3, creativity. Invent a new corporate euphemism. We threw out, let's socialize this for I am ignoring this. What else you got?
Oh, that could be fun. Tap into the absurdity of corporate jargon. Find some humor in it.
We want to hear your best, most passive-aggressive, or just funniest additions.
Yeah.
And for some email Jedi inspiration,
Yes.
think about this move. Someone hits you with, per my last email. You reply simply, thanks for flagging,
Yeah.
and then immediately mark their email as unread again.
Ooh, subtle. Acknowledged but not really dealt with yet. You've seen it, you've logged it, but you control the timing. Buys you space.
Exactly. Master-level stuff.
Yeah.
So there you have it, our deep dive into the email trenches.
Go forth and reply with confidence.
Yes. Go forth and reply with the grace of someone who totally read that email the first time. Every single word.
May your communications be clearer, your replies strategic, and your inbox slightly less stressful.
And make sure you join us next time on The Deep Dive. We're tackling a whole different kind of workplace survival challenge.
What's that?
How to survive a team-building retreat without crying in a trust fall.
Oh my, that sounds intense. A different kind of passive aggression, maybe?
We shall see. It promises to be quite the exploration.
Looking forward to it.